Hi, it's John again. Welcome back to Cafe Korea. Today we're going to introduce a new menu item called the Bulgogi sandwich. The cool thing about this sandwich is if you're not a big fan of beef, we can substitute it with chicken or pork. And if you like it a little spicy, we can throw in some kimchi as well. So how we thought of this idea was, my grandfather, he's into this quirky trivia. He was surfing the web and he figured out the origin of the sandwich, and he called me into the office and he told me there was this Earl of Sandwich in 18th century and his name was John Montague. He had a big gambling problem, so whenever dinner time came, his valet would come and ask him what he'd want for dinner, and he'd tell him he's too busy to get up from the gambling table. So he told his valet to get 2 pieces of bread, put a couple thin slices of meat in there, and that's what he's going to eat for dinner. And then other people, his friends gambling, caught on to that, and because he was the Earl of Sandwich, they'd ask their valets to make him the same thing, and they called it the sandwich. So bearing that in mind, we're going to cook this from you from start to finish, and you're going to see why it's so nice for people that are limited on time. Let's get cooking. So let's get started. We start by putting in our bulgogi, which is cut from Angus ribeye. That means it's very low in fat, which means it's healthier for you. And how we marinate this meat is we use a fermented soy sauce. And just like this is going to be the same for the pork and chicken as well, we use a fermented soy sauce for this. And that's what gives it its unique taste that you can't really mimic at home unless you know what you're doing. So we start with that. Once the meat's a little cooked, we'll throw in the onions. So because for demonstration purposes, we're cooking this out here for you. So my mobility is a little limited. But back there, especially when the ladies are doing it, they're going to be mixing it around real good and making sure everything's cooked very, very thoroughly for you. So once this is getting ready the meat's almost finished, you're going to throw the kimchi on top. And that's what's going to give it that unique kick. And the reason kimchi is so popular in Korea is because way back when Korea was a pretty poor country, that's why there's so much fermentation stuff going on. They'd have to use whatever they had, and they'd have to store it for as long as possible. And that's how the kimchi came to be. But it's so healthy for you because it's got a lot of vitamins and nutrients in it for you, and it has a lot of good bacteria for you that's good for your digestive tract. So even if you're a little skeptical because it's fermented, give it a try because there's a lot of good health benefits in it for you. We'll go ahead and throw it in here. The sandwich bread is toasted in there per order, and they just use bread and butter, and it's toasted on a frying pan for you. Something like that. And you get French fries that are made to order too, deep fried as soon as your order is placed. And you'll see on the side, you might recognize this side dish if you've come in before, but Korean people really enjoy eating their meat with radish because the acidity in meat is neutralized by the radish, the pickled radish specifically. So that's it. You could see from start to finish, it took me a few minutes to make it, which is why it's good for people that are on a time constraint. And I'm going to make sure I made it okay. Oh yeah. Alright, so that's it. You can see, normally you order a bulgogi order, it might take twice as long as for it to come out for you to finish and get out of here. But we thought for people that are in a bit of a time constraint, this might be a good idea. And you try the bulgogi sandwich one day and you feel like it's pretty good, but you want to mix it up. We also have chicken, pork, and you can always add kimchi and make it spicy or mild depending on your tastes. Earlier this week, a few customers came in and said hi to me. I appreciate that. I'm always in the back and I'm always glad to come out and meet new people. I look forward to it. Thank you so much.